That's me, Franny.
Hi. So as you see, we have a special guest. Give it up for Jossiel. Woo, 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 woo. So I spoke about Jossiel in my first podcast. If you haven't listened to that, go ahead and check that out. So I brought Jossiel in today so we can talk about our Coachella journey. So one big thing that happened to us during Coachella is that we actually got into a really bad car accident. I'm going to be putting up pictures here so you guys can see it. If you're listening and you want to see what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel, Franny Things, bitch. And Jossiel, introduce yourself.
Shit.
You're like, fuck, bitch. I thought you were the one handling this podcast.
Damn, I'm just a guest. So I'm Jossiel, obviously. I'm a photographer. I'm a creative. I'm Franny's friend. I'm the shit. And yeah, let's get into it, I guess.
Period. So for those of you that don't know, me and Jossiel met in high school, and we've been doing like creative shit like this ever since. We actually did have a podcast called The Toss, but RIP to that. But he's still here. We're still ready for the journey. So yeah, let's get into it. So the way we actually thought about going to Coachella was we were at Koyo Taco one day. Do you remember that?
Dude, I remember.
And we were doing a photo shoot. And we were just eating, and it was me, Jossiel, my cousin, and like another friend of ours. And we're like, dude, you know what I've always wanted to go to? Fucking Coachella. And we're like, let's go. Let's do it. Like, we still have so much time to save. Like, the tickets are coming out in like a couple months. Like, we can totally do it. So we ended up making a group chat, like with just us. And then we started adding people.
Slowly everybody's, yeah.
Exactly. So like any other thing that you do, I feel like a lot of people that were added were like, oh my God, I can't because of money. Like the closer it got, the more people started bailing. But luckily we had a fun enough group that it was like, how many of us?
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I think it was
seven?
Like seven. Yeah, seven of us. So it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. So the first and second day went pretty smoothly, I would say, of Coachella. Like, we were late the second day, but
the first day too, technically.
The first day we were late, but the reason why...
I remember we got to J Balvin's performance right at the end.
But that was the second day.
Really?
That was day 2.
Oh,
day 1 was when I remember that the reason why I was like, I think we're good because Jaden was performing, and like as soon as we got there, I think Flume was performing or something like that.
You missed it, right?
No, I didn't miss. Bitch, I did not miss Jaden.
Oh no, I'm like,
that's why I went.
Yo, I don't know why Coachella feels like a fucking memory like long ago.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we went in 2019.
Yeah.
So this is when Childish Gambino performed, Jaden,
Tame Impala.
Oh, that was a good time. That was so much fun. Kid Cudi performed. Kanye. Never really do you catch me out. He repeated that same line like 1,000 times. He forgot like all his lyrics. He was on some shit for sure. Like he forgot 90% of his lyrics. But yeah, so the first day went great. We actually stayed in Joshua Tree, so that drive was so annoying. To get there took us like an hour and a half. To find parking took us another 30 minutes. To walk to the actual Coachella, if you wanted to take like a little cart, they charge you like $20. But if you wanted to walk there, you're gonna take like 30 minutes. It was a bitch. But if we do it again, I'd rather pay a lot more money to stay closer.
You said if I'm doing that shit again for sure.
Yeah,
I'm doing that shit again as soon as like festivals are back, I'm out there.
Yeah,
but
I wanted to go.
I'm not staying at Joshua Tree. Fuck that.
No, it's not worth it. I rather pay more money to stay closer than did what we do, because that was so bad. Like,
at the end of the night, it's like we didn't go to bed till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, like once everyone showered, like took off their makeup, packed, whatever it is that you guys do, like for your nightly routine, it was like 4 a.m. And then we had to wake up early
again, drive back to Coachella.
That was a lot. That was stressful.
It was fun though.
I think it made me realize that I'm not a festival girl.
Oh no, chill. I'm a festival guy for sure.
No, I don't think I am. Like, I think I went for the experience. I would do it again, but I like, give me my time, give me my space. Like, you know, it was just too much for me. But yeah, the first 2 days were fine. We got there late the second day, but we still had a good time. It was super fucking cold the second day. It was super windy.
It was cold.
It was like a sandstorm. Yeah. It was so cold.
I remember I had a fucking eye infection from the sand.
Oh my God, really?
You remember I had to like stop by Walgreens and buy like an eye
Oh
flush and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's so true. So like the second day, so luckily we had lockers. Bitch, I came
Yeah.
prepared. I
Yeah.
bought a backpack. We went to Walmart the day before and I bought a backpack and I fucking put like a sweater in there. Like I wasn't playing. I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to be comfy after we take these pictures. So then the third day, this is where
Third day, where shit took a turn.
a literal turn,
everything went
bitch.
left.
Yeah. So Sunday night, me and Jossiel were like, damn, Sunday service is tomorrow and we really want to fucking go. So just so you guys can put this in perspective, this was the first time that Kanye performed Sunday service for an audience, and no one knew if it was like real because we heard rumors about it, but no one knew it was real till I think the day before.
Yeah, I remember that like Coachella posted it like last minute, and then the first weekend didn't even get that. Like that was only a second weekend thing.
Yeah. And the reason why it was so exclusive was because it was on Easter Sunday. So
That's right, it was Easter Sunday.
yeah, it
That's
was
right.
Easter Sunday. So so Kanye decided to do this last minute fucking performance, but whatever, me and Jossiel were like, fuck, like we really want to go, and we asked everybody in our group like if they were down, and none of them were down because they don't really like care about Kanye like me
And we had to
Jossiel
wake up
did.
early, so like earlier than usual, because that shit started at 9 a.m. We had like an hour drive. Wake up before that to get ready.
Yeah.
Have breakfast.
Yeah, so we had an alarm for I think like 7.
Yeah.
It was intense.
I think,
It was
yeah, it was like
really
7.
early. It was
And we
really
went to sleep
early.
like at 5. So it
Yeah.
was like a 2-hour nap.
Yeah, we literally took a nap. I think we prepared though. Like we put everything in the car. So me and Jossiel
Yeah, I
put
woke up
everything.
ready as fuck. I was like,
Yeah, I'm ready.
shower real quick, put my clothes on. Let's ride.
Straight up,
Yeah.
like we put everything in the car the night before. I put my outfit in. I put like my makeup, everything
Yeah.
I needed for Coachella. Like I just put that shit in the car the night before, and then we were ready. All we had to do was wake up and go. So everyone's not down to go. Everyone is still sleeping when me and Jossiel wake up, and then me and Jossiel are like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, should we stay? Should we go? And I'm like, honestly, Jossiel, I don't want to miss this. Like, so like,
I
let's
didn't either. I
just
was like,
go.
nah. like, especially that it was like the first time they did that publicly. I was like, nah, I'm not missing that.
Yeah, and I feel kind of like bad about it that like we kind of just rode out and then we were like figure out how to get to Coachella, bitch. We're on our way to see Kanye, because that's kind of what it was. Like they knew that
Yeah.
we were about it, but they didn't know that we actually were about it.
About
You
it,
know. So we kind of wrote in the group chat like, hey guys, me and Jossiel are gonna see Sunday service. Like, you know, I guess take an Uber or taxi to Coachella, which now that I think about it was like I feel kind of bad about it. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean it worked out though.
yeah.
Like,
Well, did it really? We'll get there now.
In a way, kind of.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So whatever, me and Jossiel, we get Starbucks, then we head to Sunday service. And at this point, like I was on a high of just like excitement.
Same here.
So I felt like good, and then as soon as we got to Sunday service, like the heat that day was so dry, and like I guess I'm used to Miami weather that the heat is somewhat like manageable because it's like wet heat. So I don't know.
I prefer the dry heat though. I feel like that humidity.
I don't
like,
know,
makes
but
you
I
sweat
felt like
more
I
and
couldn't
shit.
breathe. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I'm just like, oh my god! Like they were handing out water, and like I kept pouring that shit on my face because I'm like, yo, low key, I'm about to faint. But like I'm trying not to think about that because I'm like seeing Sunday service. So as soon as like the music starts, everything is beautiful, everything's great, and me and Jossiel get merch. We get Sunday service shirts. I still have mine.
I still have mine too, but I stained it somehow.
Me too.
I think it's like a bleach stain or something. I don't know.
Oh no, mine is just like a pen stain, and for some reason I can't get it out.
I don't. Mine doesn't look like bleach, but it like almost does.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Right. I don't know, but I also stained mine, so it could be a sign. What? I don't know. But yeah, so we get our Sunday service shirts, and then towards the end of it, I was like, yo, Jossiel, I literally feel like shit. Like I felt so weak. I felt like I needed to sleep. I don't know what it was. I felt like dehydrated.
I was tired. I mean, remember we were like on 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
We were just at Coachella the night before.
Yeah.
It was like that dust in the air, like everything.
It was a lot.
It fucks you up, but
yeah, and I had a really bad headache, and like I just like was so tired that I was so delusional.
there's also a lot of people there, and we were all the way at the front.
Yeah, we were, and we were like, since we were in the front, it was like really crowded. Oh my god! But we saw a lot of celebrities on the other hill. They divided us. Like if we were in Hunger Games, they had a hill full of celebrities that were free, and then we were gated. Like, what the fuck? They were like, not them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Shit.
And then we go to like Walgreens. I think you were getting like
Walgreens.
Gatorade or something,
Yeah.
and I'm like, just can you get me like Tylenol?
Because Coachella lets you like come in and out as many times as you want.
Yeah,
So like, fuck it, let's go to Walgreens.
Yeah.
And I think we were gonna go to Walgreens, come back, like take a nap in the car, and then go back into the festival.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So we got McDonald's, and then we went to Walgreens, and then like whatever. So then we eat our food, and then I think we were about to park.
We were about to park. So
Yes.
we're right outside of Coachella, like about to pull in again just to park and chill. And as I'm at the stop sign, about to turn, like some fucking drunk ass guy just rear ends us, like probably going like 50 miles an hour. Like that motherfucker made us go past the intersection. Like a bus almost hit me from the right.
Yeah,
Like,
it was really bad.
It was
bad. Really bad. And like, so when we were at the stop sign, like we ended up in the middle of the street,
Yeah, the middle of the street,
because
which is why
of
the
how
bus almost
hard-
hit me.
Exactly, because of how hard he hit us. And I remember the first thing that I hear is Jossiel go, "What?" Like he screams so loud, and I got so scared because I've never seen Jossiel like in that emotion.
I think
Jossiel is not emotional at all. Let me
Facts.
just like set that straight. He's like awkward, like very to himself. So when I saw his face, I was like, "Oh, this is happening," and I wasn't shocked.
I was just like I think it all hit me like instantly.
once,
Like I was
yeah.
like, oh, like I'm angry. I can't believe like this shit is happening. Like I already started thinking, how the fuck are we gonna get back to Joshua Tree? How the fuck are we getting back to LA after that? Then like everybody else is at the house. Then some people were flying out back to Miami the next day. It was like a whole thing. I was like, fuck, yo. Now like all this shit kind of falls on us. Plus this motherfucker's drunk because he has blood everywhere. He could barely walk straight. So it was just like a lot at the same time, but whatever.
Yeah, that was really scary. When I saw your reaction, I didn't really understand what was happening because I was on my phone and I was like delusional as well because I was like dehydrated. And then I remember that before we parked, I actually told Jossiel like, wait, before we park, I have to go pee really quick. Like if we can go stop somewhere. So then that's why we stopped, and then we were going to go to like the bathroom or something.
Yeah, I remember.
And then that's when it happened. So I was on my phone and my seat was like normally how it usually is. And when the car hit us, I look back and my seat is all the way back. Like that's how hard the impact was. And I remember, this is so bad, but I remember that I grabbed my bag. Like my instinct was like getting the things that were important.
I mean,
Tell me why.
I did the same thing too. Like
Yeah.
the fucking Kanye shirt.
Tell me why the first thing I grabbed was my bag and the Kanye shirts. Me and Jossiel's Kanye shirts. I put them in my bag and I put like my phone and like a charger, I think. And that's all I grabbed. And I put it on my back. Like that's it. Like we can't go back in the car. I don't know why. Like that's the first thing that came to my head. So I get out of the car and the guy like is super fucked up. He has like blood everywhere.
He had like
His
a nosebleed. Mind you, this motherfucker was a Coachella employee because I remember seeing like a
band. He had a band.
He had a band or like and a badge, and it was like a picture of him and it said Coachella. So I was like, all right.
Yeah. And like his car was wrecked. Like it was smoking. Like it was wrecked. And like our car was wrecked too, but luckily we had like a van. So which is crazy because if our friends would have came with us, it would have been
really
bad
yeah.
because like the back of the car was like in the middle of the car and like the back seats were in the middle. So it was just like if they would have came with us, something bad really would have happened.
Definitely.
But luckily nothing happened. Nothing crazy
Which is
happened
why I
to
said
us.
it kind of worked out. But,
Exactly. Yeah. Rip. But yeah, so like then we got out of the car and then like we were trying to figure it out and like Nick, he like FaceTimed us and I think he knows about, I don't know why he knew about that stuff, like car accidents or stuff. I don't know what it was, but he started like guiding us on like how to fix it, like get the license plate,
his license, which the guy didn't have a license. Remember,
he didn't have it was a paper. It was a paper, bro. Like I think I'm gonna put it up here, but like just block all the information
I have
out.
a picture of him like with blood everywhere.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then I remember that since you have adrenaline when you're in a car accident, like you don't really feel pain until like the adrenaline wears off. So I remember I was just standing there and all of a sudden my lower back, I felt like I couldn't walk. Like I was like, wow, I'm in a lot of motherfucking pain, to the point that I'm like, I think I need to go to the hospital. Like But the thing is that for some reason, I don't know if you remember this, but they didn't let us like Uber to the hospital. Like we had to get an ambulance. Yeah, like we called 911 about the accident, and I was like, I'm just gonna Uber because we all know an ambulance is like fucking a lot of money, and the Uber I think was like $5.
Yeah, the hospital was like right there.
It was right there, and they're like, no, you guys can't. You have to go in the ambulance, and I'm like, but why? And I remember I kept questioning, but why? But why?
Thing, for sure, a money thing.
Exactly, and they're like, oh, you have to come with us, and then like Jossiel's like, okay, let me get my things, and then
which they were giving me a hard time too. I'm like, yo, let me get in the fucking car.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't get your things, and I'm like, dude, I'm in pain, but like I could like chill, you know, I could chill for a second. And they're like, you can't go back in the car, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So that mission, oh my god, to get itself. So whatever, we get to the hospital, and like it was a little like scary because we had a cop come and then interview both of us separately talking about the experience. And like I guess for a report, but that was so scary because like that's when my anxiety kicked in. Like for you, it happened super fast.
Yeah, mine
but
was
for
as soon
me,
as it happened, then I was chilling after that.
Yeah, but mine was a delayed reaction. So like I literally was there for like maybe an hour and a half, and that's when it hit me that like, oh fuck, I'm in a hospital. Oh fuck, we got into a car accident. Like how the fuck are we gonna do this?
And for some reason, they wouldn't let me like in where she was. Yeah, so she was in there doing her thing, and I'm here like sitting outside the hospital just waiting. Yeah,
like we couldn't be in the same room together. It was so weird. Like I don't know, that seems suspect. And then they made me seem crazy. Like they were like, are you sure that happened? Like, are you sure that's your address? And I'm like, I literally was like, yo, what the fuck? Like I got so mad to the point that I started cursing because I'm like, I'm not crazy. Why do you guys keep questioning me like this? Like I'm literally repeating my address 5 times back to back, and why are you guys still questioning me? I was so upset because I just felt crazy.
They were probably trying to figure out if you were drunk.
Or like if I had a concussion or something, and I'm like, you guys are making me have a concussion, bitch. Like you guys are making me mad dizzy. Like what the fuck? So like they had to give me like a pregnancy test because they were gonna give me pain medication. And like at this point, like I was in a relationship, so like I was actively having sex. So for some reason, mind you, I'm on birth control, like I'm protected, bitch. But like for some reason, I'm like, oh my god, what if I'm pregnant? Like now I'm gonna find out. Like what the fuck? Like I don't know why. Like my mind just thought of everything bad that could possibly happen is gonna happen in this moment. Like it just went haywire. So I started thinking about all these things, and then like when they gave me the pill, I remember I had so much anxiety. As soon as I popped that thing, like maybe like 10 minutes later, I'm like, Jossiel, we're good, bro. We're good. Like I'm chilling. Like I was like high. Like my body felt like I took an edible. It was so good. And then I'm like, you know what? I think we're good. We'll just watch it live. You know, when we get back to the house, everything's gonna be okay.
Too bad I wanted to go back to Coachella. I was like, damn, like I kind of want to go back just to, Bad Bunny was performing that day, but I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna see him in Miami anyway the week after that. So I was like, whatever.
No, well, I didn't, but I feel like for me, like I wanted to go back too, but since I was in pain and
Blood Orange also performed that day, which I wish I would have seen him, but
I know. And Ariana performed. I know that's like not that crazy for you, like, but for me, I was like, oh my god, Ari. And like, and then I wanted to go back personally as well, but I was just like, dude, I don't know, I'm scared because like what's gonna happen, you know, like
how are we gonna get
exactly
back,
how are we getting home is the main thing.
Especially that late at night, like after it ends.
Exactly, like how are we getting home was a main concern for me because the pain, bitch, I was good, and they prescribed me more, so I'm like.
And I also had to figure out how we were gonna get back to LA the day after that. Yeah, because we had like 3 or 4 days left in LA after Coachella.
Exactly. And were we leaving to LA the next day?
I think we were. I'm pretty sure we were.
Yeah, that was a lot. So we just had a lot to think about. So we were just like, let's just like figure this out. And then I had
to like figure out with the car rental company like what to do.
Wow. Yeah,
and I was trying to get
go
them
in depth
to
about that.
I was trying to get them.
Bro, it
was a mission. It was a lot of back and forth. I was trying to get them to like give me like a loaner car or rental or something since I wasn't at fault. They didn't want to give me a car. It was a Sunday, so that didn't help.
And the thing is that, okay, so we, in order to claim our items that we left in the car, we had to go to where they towed the car. Yeah. And since it was Easter Sunday, we didn't know that they were open. So we Ubered from Coachella or from the hospital to where they towed the car to see if we can get the stuff that we left in there. And we ended up not being able to because it was closed. So then, and on top of that, technically, if we were to show up and they were open, we couldn't be the ones to get in the car because it had to be the owner. Yeah, and since we rented the car on Turo.
We rented it on Turo, so it was like a private owner or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the Airbnb of like rentals.
Pretty much.
And yeah, so like we couldn't even get in there. And then from there, we had to figure out a ride home, which was, mind you, an hour and a half away. And a lot of people weren't down to drive, obviously, an hour and a half. But luckily, we found this guy that was like down for it. And luckily, he was super nice. And then we ended up at like Sonic. I have videos. I'm going to put them here. Got into a car accident, didn't care about anything else but this shirt. We ended up at Sonic.
Like, I swear, like depression started hitting me and shit.
Yo, it was so sad.
I remember all I wanted to do was get home and fucking eat edibles and pass out.
And we did.
And we did. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, dude. Like we were like so sad. And I remember in the car ride home that like Jossiel was sleeping and I was looking out the window. Bro, I was like in a movie. I was looking at the window like my life is so sad right now. But like it was kind of fun because I had like mountains and stuff, you know. So I like didn't know. I was like, oh my God, kind of cute. Like kind of a moment. So we ended up at Sonic and then my ass wanted Domino's. So like then we had like a feast.
We crossed the street.
Yeah. We had like.
Then we also went to Walgreens because you had to get your prescription.
Yeah. I had to get my prescription.
This was all like walking to these places because we didn't have a fucking car.
Yeah, we had to walk everywhere. But luckily, like everything was near us because since it was Joshua Tree in the middle of nowhere, like all these places are like right next to each other. So we went to Walgreens and then I remember the guy helping us at Walgreens was super nice. He made me feel so safe.
I remember that.
I was like, oh, wow, like that's great. Yeah. And then I remember.
I think that was your main concern, like the safety thing.
Yeah.
My thing was just trying to figure out how the fuck to get around though.
Yeah. But, what's it called? And then I remember that I had to tell my parents. You didn't tell your parents.
Oh, I didn't tell my parents shit. To this day, they don't know.
Wow. That's wild, bitch. Yeah. I can't be you. I told my parents when I knew that I was okay to talk to them. Like I
told my aunt and my cousin, but that's it. I didn't tell my mom or dad. Yeah. Fuck that.
Well, no.
I mean, now it doesn't matter. Like I'm obviously good, but if I would have told them there on the spot, that would have been a problem.
Really?
For sure. Especially that the first time I went to LA, I got robbed, and then the second time I got in a car accident.
Oh, so yeah. I don't know. I think my parents, like the way that I made it seem was like it wasn't bad. Like I called them like, yeah but we're fine. Like it's okay. Then low-key, I was like, like fucking dying inside. But they were okay with it because I like all I can do is just like figure it out from that point on. But then when we were at Domino's, we had to find a taxi to take us to our like with a place we were staying. Which is
weird because over there it's like it's the main street, but the houses are kind of like off road, so it's weird. Like to get around,
it was so scary. Yeah, when the first day we got there, the first night, it was so scary. Like I remember that
it's like mad dark, you can't see shit.
Yes, and I remember that we were driving and I was in the back and I was sleeping, and then all of a sudden I feel like and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Where are we? And I wake up and it's pitch black and I'm like, what the fuck? And there's just sand everywhere and like desert. Like it was so scary.
What you see in movies.
It was so scary. And then like we had to find a taxi to get us from like Domino's to like the house, which was maybe like 20 minutes or something like that. It wasn't even a far drive, but the thing is that like
it takes long because you have to drive slow through the dirt.
Exactly. And the Airbnb is like the Ubers like don't take you there. And like I remember that one day I woke up really early. This is when I was working at Orange Theory still. So my shifts were 5 a.m. to 12. So I was used to waking up super early. And I was so hungry one day. And I remember that I tried to get Postmates or Uber Eats.
Right.
And none of them like were available to come. And I just literally just ate everyone's stuff. Like I would go in like their room and be like, whatever they have, bitch, I'm eating because I'm so hungry. And then everyone woke up like mad late. And then we had to go get like groceries finally. But it was crazy. And then that night, so when we got back, I remember, and this is something that I wanted to ask you. So that night when we got back, I remember any loud noise that would happen, we would both look at each other and get so scared. We were doing laundry and I remember that like I slammed something and we both like were like and I want to ask you, do you think you still have like slight PTSD from that?
Like no, not at all.
No? Like when you hear a loud noise, or like when you feel a break.
Like once that trip was over and I was back home in Miami, like safe and good. That's it. Like that shit was out of my head.
Damn. So you don't think like when someone breaks hard or like no? Damn. I feel like.
But it's also like that's not my first car accident, so maybe that's why.
I'm used to this lifestyle.
Not like that either.
He's a rebel.
Let me like fucking knock on wood, but
yeah.
But no, that's not the first time like that I get hit and I'm not at fault.
Right. I don't know. That shit scares me. Till this day, if someone breaks hard, especially if I'm not paying attention, like
I think it's also because like you were in pain and like all of that. Like I was good, even though we got hit. Like I didn't feel anything at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like since I was traumatized because my back was hurting a lot. I thought it was broken. Like literally, I was like, dude, I'm paralyzed. Like it's over for me. Like that's it. I'm not a bad bitch anymore. But yeah, like I don't know. I felt like till this day, if I'm not paying attention and I feel someone break really hard, like I'll feel that moment. Yeah, like that moment that like it happened and I'm like, whoa. But yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Maybe it could also be because I was driving. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know, but I don't know. That was so scary. When I drive, I don't feel that. It's only when I'm passenger.
That's probably why. Yeah. Since I was like driving most of the trip really, or like all of the trip.
Yeah. I guess I was passenger, so that's why it triggered me. But I remember when we got back, like I didn't cry throughout the whole entire process, but I remember when we got back, I remember that I like ate edibles and then I was eating edibles and then popping those pain medications, like if it was like Tic Tacs, which is so fucking bad. High
that day when we got back. I was like, I'm fucking knocking
I needed
out.
that.
I'm not waking up till tomorrow.
Honestly, those edibles really helped me with my back pain. It was so good. Yeah. So I remember taking these edibles and like popping the pain medication that they gave me. And I remember that I was folding my clothes and I just break down crying, like hysterically crying, like if something, like if it just happened, like, you know. And then I remember that like I cried for like 5 minutes and I'm like, I literally sucked it up. And then I went to Jossiel's room. I'm like, I just cried. He's like, okay, like mind you, Jossiel's super awkward, so he's not like very comforting sometimes. So he's like, okay, and I'm like, it's fine, I'm fine. And then I remember that I was also really worried about like our friends being at Coachella and then not having a ride back.
It sounds bad. Like I love them all, but I was like, you guys gotta figure it out. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, that was you. I stayed up. I remember I stayed up.
I went to sleep like instantly almost.
No, I didn't. I was so worried. I worried.
I feel bad now that I think back. I do feel bad. Like that was a little irresponsible of me. But
I feel bad. Run it back. But honestly, I love them, but I'm gonna fucking go to sleep. But yeah, and the thing is that like they didn't have a ride and like some of them were on drugs and like I was like, fuck, like this is not appropriate right now, like trying to get back. And I remember that I texted my cousin and I was like, hey girl, try to get back before the sun goes down so you have more time to actually look for a ride. And obviously they're not gonna do that because it was the last day of Coachella.
And once you're there, I mean, I'm sure if I were with them I would have stayed as well.
Exactly, which I totally understand, but I'm here thinking about more the safety purposes because it was, luckily they had boys in the group, but you know, like I don't know, it was scary for me to think like how are they gonna get back, because we knew the mission that it took to get back. That's what it
was too, like since we already knew the mission, we knew how difficult it was to even find a way to get back to Joshua Tree versus them, like they saw us get there, so like, all right, fuck it, like we'll figure it out when it's our turn. Yeah,
exactly. And like that's why I kept texting my cousin like, hey, remember, try like finding an Uber like now, like literally like find an Uber 20 minutes before at least Coachella ends. Like I was trying to figure it out for them. And then it got to the point that like she kept calling me like, oh, we have to do this, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know what else to tell you. Like
yeah, that's crazy. I was sleeping the whole time.
Like, bitch, I stayed in the living room like waiting for them, and I remember falling asleep in the living room checking the time, and it was like 1 a.m. I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna go in my room and just I do remember
though, like the next day when I woke up and I saw everybody was at the house, I was like, all right, perfect.
So
I'm like, perfect.
Yo, you knocked the fuck out.
Yo, facts. Oh
my god,
I really did not wake up till next morning. I was like, fuck this.
You're like, he's a sad boy. I didn't see Bad Bunny.
Yo.
That's so funny. But I stayed up, and then I remember that I texted. It was to the point that I was so tired that I'm like, I just have to like go to bed. So I texted them. I'm like, okay guys, like keep me updated, whatever. And then I remember when I got back that all of them were complaining about the price of the taxi. Like that's all I kept hearing. I was like kind of like delusional too because of all the medication and then the edibles. But I kept remember like Stacey, the first thing she told me was like, the taxi was like $200, and I'm like, bitch, I just almost fucking died and you're gonna complain about a motherfucking taxi price. How could you? Like, how are you feeling? No, waking me up about the fucking price. I was so annoyed, but whatever. And I remember they just kept talking about it. And like the next morning, I woke up super early and I like made them all sandwiches. Mind you, the one that's fucking handicapped is the one making the food for everybody. But it's not like they forced me to do it. I wanted to, because like if I'm already up, like might as well like make food.
We ate good as fuck that trip.
We did. That breakfast was so good every morning. But might as well like make food for everyone. I wasn't gonna be like a bitch and be like, no. But then like I just felt kind of like unappreciated by everyone else. And I remember I had like a music video moment. Luckily, the guy, the owner of the Turo car that we rented, he had another car.
Yeah, I don't know how many cars that guy had, but
I
remember he did say like when he picked us up at the airport, I remember him saying like, oh, if you guys are going to Coachella, like let me know if you need anything because I'm going to be over there as well.
Yeah.
So luckily I think charges like $250 to take us back to LA, which is not that bad if you think about it.
We divided it.
It was like a 2.5 hour drive or something. I don't know, 2 hours.
Yeah, and we all split the price. Yeah. Luckily, it was a good amount.
I feel bad for Joss and Katya though. They had to pay they had to take an Uber alone, just them two to LA because they were flying back earlier than us. Yeah.
But so I remember that he had like another car, so he took us back to LA. And then I remember on that drive back, one of the people that we were with kept saying some slick shit, and I got so mad. He kept saying, oh well, at least like I don't know if I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, but like he kept complaining about the taxi price, because we had to pay $200 for the taxi, and he kept saying it over and over again, to the point that I got so mad that I look back and I'm like, do you not understand that me and Jossiel almost fucking died and you're here complaining about a motherfucking taxi price? Get over it. And I got so mad, and I remember just like getting
after that accident you were like mad pressed the whole fucking trip.
I was mad pressed.
I was chilling. I was like, all right, that's it. We're back in LA. Like, I'm gonna get tattooed the day after that. I remember I was like, I'm still gonna get tattooed. Like, I'm gonna enjoy LA while I'm here, and then I'll figure it out after.
I think I was just pressed the fact that like I felt like they didn't understand what happened. I
also know why you were pressed. So it was your Jaden hoodie.
I know, but I was gonna get into that. Look. I'm so stupid. I'm such a like dumb bitch, but like whatever. So I'm there like pressed. I was pressed because like I felt like no one really understood what happened, and like, you know, I guess the trauma that we went through. And I just think that they were just like being selfish and only thinking about like what they had to pay, what they went through. And it's like, dude, like, do you not understand what happened? So then, because like I was mentioning earlier, our stuff was in the towing company's place. I told Jossiel specifically to text the guy all the things that we left in the cars.
Which I did, by the way.
Yes. And he mentioned it a few times. He brought
everything except what we told him. Bro, your hoodie stayed there. My Prada sunglasses that I had just bought just for the trip also stayed in the car.
My whole outfit.
He probably came up on all that shit himself.
My whole outfit stayed there. Like literally, mostly everything. But all I cared about, I don't give a fuck about anything else. All I cared about was my Jaden hoodie I got at Coachella. That's all I cared about.
And all I wanted was my sunglasses.
Literally,
I had
just
dropped
things.
$300 on those. And guess what? They lasted me like a week.
Wow.
I know.
Just 2 things that we wanted, and those 2 things didn't come back, and I was so upset. On top of like feeling unappreciated and all this stuff, I also didn't get my Jaden hoodie, and like literally on the way back to LA, I'm just crying. Like not the whole time, but I remember looking out the window and I'm like and like you hear me crying, but like I try to make it like quiet, you know, so I'm like and Jossiel's sitting right behind me, and he texts me. He's like, "Don't worry, I'll help you get your Jaden hoodie." And then I'm like, "Oh, my Jaden hoodie!" Oh my god, that was so funny. Man. And I also was like, also kind of delusional because I was also taking. I think I was high the whole weekend or the whole week that we were there. Like we had a bunch of weed because of all the J's that we got. The first thing we did when we went to LA was go to dispensary. Like literally, that's the first thing we did.
From the airport to the car, from the car to the fucking dispensary.
We got a bunch of J's. We got a bunch of edibles. Like, so we were set. But like, I just was taking them like if it was motherfucking popcorn. And then, dude, it was sad. And then I remember the next day, I think I'm going to make this into another podcast because that itself is like a whole thing, that our house was for sure haunted in LA.
Oh, I didn't experience that shit.
I know, because you are not susceptible to that.
I think like you were, and Stacy too, right? Or was it just you? Oh, no,
it was me and Stacy. I think Nick and UDL felt some type of way, but I don't think they were like focused on that.
I mean, the thing is like, especially that I was going to sleep high as fuck every single night. Like once I fall asleep that I'm high, like that's it. Like I'm not waking up till the next morning at all. Like nothing could wake me up.
That made it worse for me. I feel like I heard so much activity in that house, especially,
no.
and I stayed home alone. Like everyone else went to do their thing, and I remember I was super sick. I had fever, like, and I was just sweating like the whole night and the whole morning. And I'm like, I just need time by myself. Like, I just think I need to like space myself out from everyone, because being around everyone for like a week, and it was just so many different personalities that I just needed to be alone.
My alone time was definitely like getting tattooed.
Exactly. So I feel like we were equally like, you know, so I just had to be alone. I got like Uber Eats and just like literally smoked my J and just enjoyed like LA, like the view that we had. It was beautiful. But then there was a moment that like, dude, for sure I thought I was gonna get like the house, someone was taking our things, or like I don't know what was going on in there, but I heard so much activity. But I'm gonna get into that another podcast, because I think that is its whole own episode like itself. It was really, really scary. And Jossiel made me feel like shit, because he's like, you're going crazy, like it's just the pills you're taking. And I'm like, Jossiel, like how could you? But then you got sick after your tattoo too. You felt a little sick after.
I remember.
I just think it was our shock system. Like we were just like going through it. But then the
and
next day,
it was also though like that dirt from Coachella itself, like that makes you sick.
Really?
Of course. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just know my boogers were like black.
Yeah. Mine too.
They were black. But yeah, and then the next day after that, we were like lit. I felt like we took like a line or something. Like we were like, like when we went to the museum or whatever, the wax museum.
The wax museum.
We were lit. I'll have videos.
We had fun that day.
That was a lot of day. That was the day after that, like we were like, let's take ginger shots and like let's eat ramen, let's be healthy. But I'm gonna talk about that whole ghost story in another thing. But point is that me and Jossiel almost died, but we're here, you know, period.
And I'm ready to go back to Coachella.
I think if it comes back, I'm probably gonna get tickets.
You should,
because
especially if Frank Ocean goes.
Frank Ocean, I low-key feel like he's not though. Like I'm not trying.
I don't think he is either.
I'm not trying to manifest it, but like I low-key think he's not, because like everything that happened with his brother, and like Frank Ocean is, I feel like is already a mission to get him to like perform. So this is like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
I agree.
But I mean, who cares? I think the lineup is still really good. Rex Orange,
they always have a
County
good
is gonna be there, and like I don't know. So Childish Gambino for me was my favorite performance.
I didn't see that performance. I fucked up.
Where were you?
In the Yuma tent, of course. Yep.
All my little Pookie head friends were there, and I'm just like, I'm gonna like have a good time and get like tacos, and they were all in the Yuma tent.
I don't know, that Yuma tent was lit though. You didn't step in there at all, right?
I didn't go in. Every single time you guys would go, I would do something else.
That was definitely the spot.
Yeah, I would like actually go to the art exhibits and stuff. Like that's how I knew the next day. I'm like, let's like I knew where everything was, because I was just exploring.
Next time I go to Coachella for sure, like I do want to explore more and get there earlier to explore, and then like
and like
watch the performance.
I literally had like a pamphlet of like all the different things that they had, and like I knew the history of them and stuff. Like that's how much time I spent like exploring like Coachella when everyone else was like but Childish Gambino was my favorite. I cried so much listening to him. Like when he did Stand Tall and like fireworks started coming out, I had to literally like sit down for a second, because I'm like, this is so beautiful. He's such a good performer. What was your favorite performer?
Tame Impala.
That was fun.
Was fun.
Oh my God. And then A$AP Rocky came out. And I said it in the beginning. I'm like, if A$AP Rocky comes out for Sundress, I'm running back.
I think we had left to like go to the bathroom or get
and I
food
ran
or some
back.
shit. And then like we heard it. We're like, oh shit. And then we like ran back.
Yeah, I heard him. Like I heard the beginning of Sundress. And I'm like, I'm running back. I don't give a fuck if Stacey's in the bathroom, bitch. Bye.
That was a good performance though.
Yeah, he performed LSD
Cudi was
too.
fun as fuck too.
I think Cudi, like I mean, it was Kanye and Cudi, but Kanye wasn't it for me. He was forgetting all his lyrics. He did.
I don't know. I thought it was lit, like seeing Kanye there. I did expect it because he was gonna be there on Sunday, but
I felt like I don't know. He was on some shit. Cudi did really good though.
I had fun.
Yeah, I remember like I got really emotional during Cudi's concert, because I remember that like there was a girl next to us that she was like smoking a J, and then she offered it to us, and it was like such a perfect moment, and I'm just like, this is like so beautiful. And I remember like I was with Stacey, and me and her have like a really strong connection through Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, but overall Coachella was 10 out of 10 for
10
me.
out of 10,
even though we almost died, it was still a really good time.
Yeah, I would definitely do it again. And
I think you are gonna do it again.
I'm like whatever, which probably won't be till like next year or the year after that. But
I for sure want to do it again though. But I'm definitely saving up no matter how much money to stay right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't care.
I prefer to camp at Coachella than stay at Joshua Tree.
Yeah, same. Because bitch, no, it's not it. I'm never gonna fucking stay 2 hours away just to save some money. Bitch, fuck
was
that.
it 2 hours? Yeah, almost. Nah,
It was like
an hour and a half. Yeah.
At night it was faster than during the day.
I remember sometimes I would drive and the wind would like
move the car. Luckily there was we were driving through hills, so But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you want to go ahead and check out Jossiel and whatever he does, what is your ad name?
Yeah, it's JOSSIELLG.
Wow, I've never heard you say your ad name like that. That's so catchy.
If I say Jossiel G, they're like, huh? What?
Yeah. Who? Say it again.
JOSSIELLG.
Yo, that's sick. I love that for you. So yeah, go ahead and check him out. And that is it for today. Stay tuned for the next podcast and let's get it.
Thanks for having me.
Period. Yo, cut that shit.